Well, Willwoods Community in New Orleans is the operator of WLAE. You're probably watching us, where you can see Catholic TV on channel 32.3. Willwoods also offers another great ministry focused on faith and marriage. And today we welcome Jason via Skype to tell us more about it. Jason, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for letting me be a part of the program, and good seeing you. And bad news, we just crept into the 80s.
Yeah.
So,
oh, did you really?
We lost our 70s, and we're going to be in the 80s for the rest of the day, but not too bad.
That's still cold for New Orleans, I think.
Right, exactly. This time of the year.
Just so you know, we have a prayer box here, Jason, and your wife and your family are in our prayers. I know you're asking for prayers.
Absolutely. We ask everybody to please keep us in prayer for sure. My wife, who's going through stage 4 breast cancer, and though there's no cure for stage 4 breast cancer, we've got some great doctors, medicine's working, and everything is looking really good. So it's just something we're going to have to stay on top of one day at a time and one prayer at a time. And
those 5 kids of yours, the 4 girls and your son, they're in our prayers too.
We appreciate that very much. Absolutely.
Well, hey, tell us a bit about the 3 focus areas of the Willwoods Community.
So Willwoods Community is a Catholic nonprofit that was started in the late 70s with the first focus to address the strengthening married couples. They really wanted to provide opportunities, retreats for married couples. And then eventually what ended up happening was Archbishop Hannon had retired, and when Archbishop Schulte came in, he had a television station that he wanted to pass on to Deacon Paul Nolte and the crew with Willwoods, this little Catholic nonprofit, and then they took that on along with some affordable housing ministries. So we have affordable housing, we have our Catholic, we have our television station, which the first thing we ever broadcast was the Mass. That was the first thing that we ever put on the air, and then it was amazing that the tragedy of Katrina, whenever people were calling the office, they weren't asking, you know, when's this show coming on, or Barney or NewsHour. They were asking, when's the Mass coming back on? So for those who, you know, are not able to make it to Mass, shut-ins, the elderly, this was such a great ministry. And so this was something that we kept strong, and we still to this day provide some amazing Catholic program and content. And so thankful to broadcast Catholic TV out to all of our people over here as well.
That's great, Jason. Can you tell us about the exciting new series, United in Love?
So, you know, my wife and I, Elise, we've been working for Willwoods. July will be 10 years. And one of the things that, you know, obviously working on retreats and a program we have called Supper and Substance, and some really great resources to provide couples. But we wanted to provide a new resource, a new program. And I know that a program is not going to be the thing that's going to save marriage, but Christ is. And what we wanted to do was provide an invitation through this program that's going to help draw couples close together and helping them to understand some of the very fundamentals of our faith and how we can truly build our marriage on solid ground. And so we have a program, it's basically like 6 date nights, that's called United in Love, United in Christ, and has everything from a couple's guide to the leader's guide to even a parish guide that comes with how to basically start the program. I'm a very I guess analytical kind of guy, and I like order and structure, and I like the plans and give me the directions and let's carry it out. And I wanted to go step by step of how to take this program from just being in a box and making it something that's going to come alive, organizing a team, putting together promotions and all that, but all the while having some great content. We've got some great resources with the Couples Guide, the DVD series where we have various couples coming in, Greg and Julie Alexander. We have Brian and Lisa Butler. Brian Butler put together the Theology of the Body for Teens with Jason Everett and Christine Everett and the MacGyvers. So it's just a great resource of couples sharing witness on some of the basics, strong, important basics of our faith. Like, you know, Vince Lombardi, the great, you know, football coach, Lombardi Trophy named after, he would take a football at the beginning of the year and he would hold up the football and say, you know, this is a football. And he would go out to the field and he would say, you know, that's an end zone and this and that. And he says, basically, if we miss out on basics, then we'll miss out on big victories. And I want to go back. And so regardless of how young or old a couple may be, how many years they've been married, what are the basics of our faith, the basics in our marriage that we need to make sure that we're not missing out on, that we're enriching? And we turn to prayer, the sacraments, welcoming Our Lady into our home, building our house on a foundation, and living it out in joy.
Mm-hmm. You know, when you think of marriage, I remember I actually, my wedding anniversary was just last week.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And when you're getting married, it's this wonderful thing, which it is, but it also takes some work for a marriage too. How does faith fit into that?
Well, Pope Benedict XVI said that the crisis in marriage is directly linked to the crisis in faith. I mean, we can go back to the very beginning with the book of Genesis and seeing Adam and Eve, and their big blunder was when they turned away from faith, when they turned away from God, when they no longer abided in that relationship between God and man. And when they did that, they saw each other differently. And because of that, we can see from the very beginning that God has something to say and something to be a part of in marriage. As Fulton Sheen said, you know, it takes three to marry. And we got to have Christ at the center of that. We got to have God pouring his love into our lives, because we're not love, but God is love. And the more that we have Christ in it, then the more that we can have that experience of joy and love that marriage is meant to have. And the problem is that, you know, we think that marriages and faith is kind of separate, and we don't see the connection together. And hopefully we'll, through the program and through, you know, the ministry, people will come to see that there is an integral part of the faith and marriage that must be brought together for that foundation of our faith in our home to really strive and not just survive marriage, but to thrive in marriage.
Well, Jason, I wish we had more time, because this has been a great conversation, but someday you're going to get up to Boston. We're going to have you here live on this.
Love to be a part of it.
Oh, that'd be great. So tell us, just where can people find out more about your ministry?
They can go to faithandmarriage.org, faithandmarriage.org. They can actually call me directly on my phone at 504-830-3716. 504-830-3716.
Well, Jason, thanks again. I hope it doesn't get too hot down there. And my best to the wife and the kids.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Take care.